Hello, welcome to Bryan Living and Learning. I'm Alan Bruggman from the City of Bryan's Communications Department.
And I'm Sandy Farris, Communications Director for Bryan ISD. Today we'll be looking at summer workouts our student athletes are participating in. We'll check in with the Adult Learning Center, which provides a valuable service to our community. And finally, we'll continue our summer series on the history of Bryan Public Education.
The City of Bryan will take a look at two different summer camps, one with our Police Department and one with our Parks and Recreation Department. But first, you may have seen it in your mailbox already. If not, you can check it out online. It's the 2009 City of Bryan Water Calendar. There are many important deadlines each year for City of Bryan projects, but perhaps none of those catches the public's attention, like the release date for the new City of Bryan Annual Water Quality Report Calendar. Since 2004, the city has released an innovative and humorous water quality report in the form of a calendar featuring Bryan Water Department employees. And this year is no different, as the employees are featured in a Western-themed layout. This year's calendar was designed and photographed by media specialist Sean Iyer.
We started in March of this year. The Communications Department and the Water Department met. We all had some individual ideas. We kind of narrowed it down to a Western theme, found some well-known Westerns that we thought people might be able to identify with and recognize really quick. From there, we looked at the originals, and we just kind of emulated the idea. We went on a photo shoot. We went to Santa's Wonderland, and we just started posing the pictures based on what the originals were. We mixed people up. We had the correct attire. We used water guns as props, kind of a water theme catch. So that's kind of how the ball got rolling.
Even though it was arguably the most important part of the calendar process, the photo shoot was the least time-consuming. The most intensive part came afterwards.
After the photo shoot, we were able to take the pictures that we took on site and manipulate them. Some of them were pretty organic, meaning I changed maybe a few things. Some of them I didn't change anything. Some of them I completely redid, pulled the background out, pulled the people out. That was probably the most intensive part, trying to emulate what was in the original picture and just try to keep that theme as solid as possible. Of course, the whole time adding water elements. Some of them, like the Water Maverick, has like a water bottle in his hand. The dampened, drenched, and I don't remember the whole thing. He has like a cup of water in his hand. So, little water icons to really try to brand it as the water departments.
And after Iyer got the pictures looking the way he wanted them, he had to insert them into the layout that he created for each month, which was no small task.
The real time-intensive stuff comes when you try to assemble those pictures with the backgrounds and the fonts and the colors, and then if you're depending on the original, how much you're trying to make it look like the original takes a lot more time. I mean, some of these are really highly composited. Some of them, like Flonanza, for example, that was a in and out deal. I mean, you just put it in there, throw the title, and that picture's done. But some of them, like Bad Swirls, based off of the Bad Girls one, that took a lot more time because it was totally affected. So each one had their own challenges, but overall it took probably about, I would say, close to a month to get everything approval and finally to the printers for print and mail.
This is the 5th water calendar produced by the City of Bryan, and each year the Communications Department tries to increase the creativity and the quality of the calendar.
Every year we just try to make it a little more edgy, a little more high quality, just really try to make it the best quality we can.
Those 2009-2010 calendars started appearing in Bryan mailboxes in late June, just in time to replace last year's water calendar. In addition to national and state recognition for each year's water report, Bryan's Water and Communications Departments produce a water calendar each year for one reason. It's the best way to get out information about Bryan's excellent drinking water.
We take a lot of time and put a lot of resources and effort into this because we could produce just a basic 2-page brochure, nothing to it, black and white, and folks would never read it. Well, we're pretty proud of our water at City of Bryan. We want to make sure the citizens know that. So, a lot of times the best way to present information is in a fun way, and we feel like that way people will actually take the time to see what water they're drinking and know that we care about the quality of their water. We want them to know that we've got nothing to hide, and here it is, and we do have great water. So it's a fun way to let them know that we're really doing good things with our water quality.
Well, Alan, I saw that calendar, and it's always an entertaining way to present that report.
Yeah, and if for some reason you didn't get a copy, or if you live outside the city limits, you can pick one up here at the Municipal Office Building, at the Municipal Service Center, or also at the Bryan Public Library.
Keeping physically fit can be a challenge for our student athletes during the summer. Our athletic department has an answer for that in strength and conditioning camps.
What we got our summer conditioning program, and the purpose of summer conditioning program is just that, to carry on from spring in the summer what you were doing. The best thing about it is that kids can really make some good improvement physically. You got longer to lift, longer to run, so you can really make a huge push physically getting ready for the upcoming season. We go every morning from 7:30 to 9:30, every evening from 5 to 7. Because of UIO rules, you cannot make the kids come, but they are encouraged to come. With the heat being such a factor, when we start in August, it just helps them get ready for that. Get used to the heat, so that nobody gets sick or whatever. So there's a lot of benefits that come out of it. Each day is laid out, planned out, from warm up all the way through the weightlifting through the running. Every day is planned out and laid out. The UIO gives us 7 weeks that we can physically get with the kids, coach them like that. Now at the end of 7 weeks, they still show up, but our role at that time is just supervising. We're in the weight room with them, mainly supervising, make sure nobody gets hurt. If a kid asks you a question, you can answer it, but you can't say, all right, y'all go here, y'all go there. You can't do that after 7 weeks. But up till that point, it's just like workout. Now, the other difference is it's not as intense as it is in the spring. But at the same time, because it's a 2-hour workout, during the school day, you got a maximum of about 48 minutes of workout time. So 48 minutes compared to 2 hours, you can get a lot more done. So it's not as intense as far as how we push them, but on the other hand, it's a little more intense for them because of the length of time. Another difference is we got girls with boys, which I think is a good thing, because the girls get out there and they do things they're not used to doing, as far as body movements and weight training and things of that nature. So it's good for them. Baseball, softball, we got baseball players in there. We got some soccer players, so, and we want this is for all athletes at Rudder High School. All athletes are encouraged to do this because it's going to make them better.
Well, Sandy, I'm sure we'll see those students' hard work pay off coming up during their seasons in the fall.
Well, I think we will, and I think the unique thing about these workouts is that it's open to all athletes no matter what sport they're involved in.
The 2009 police camp was hosted by the Bryan Police Department and the Children's Museum of the Brazos Valley, and it included 5 days of fun for 8 to 12-year-olds. These kids are now brand new junior officers of the Bryan Police Department, thanks to a 1-week police camp put on by the BPD and the Children's Museum of the Brazos Valley.
It's just to introduce the kids to all the different type of police functions that are out there that we do.
On the first day of the camp, Officer Burnt showed the attendees all the equipment he wears and carries on him while he's on duty. The kids saw a taser, handcuffs, and tried on a bulletproof vest. They also got to check out some of the BPD motorcycle fleet and learned how they operate. The camp is a great opportunity for officers to meet with children from our community.
It's good for us, plus it's also good for the kids to let them understand who we are, make sure they're not scared of us. We want a good relationship with these kids out there.
We like to involve all of the students from the Brazos Valley, the opportunity to see what it's like to become a police officer. And the police give back to the community as well by providing us their wonderful service. And what kid doesn't want to be a junior officer?
The participants were able to check out different aspects of the PD during the rest of the week. Officer Al Hawk and his K-9 partner demonstrated their skills and answered questions. The kids closed out the week with a SWAT team demonstration and a mock crime scene investigation.
The Bryan Police Department could not have been more wonderful. They were here early in the morning, ready to go with smiles on their faces. They were just they got in their kid zone, and they were as excited to be here as the kids were. And bravo, I hope they will partner with us year after year.
For Officer Burnt, the camp provides an excellent opportunity to put himself out in the community, something he does on a daily basis as a neighborhood enforcement team officer.
This is the area that I work, so I deal with the Children's Museum on a regular basis. I talk to them on a regular basis, and this is real good for us in the community.
The police camp is an annual event put on every summer by the Bryan Police Department. Because of the hot temperatures we've experienced so far in the city of Bryan this summer, the City of Bryan Police Department wants to remind folks to exercise caution when you're trying to stay cool. With 100-degree weather becoming a norm here in Bryan, many folks are cooling off in water, either in pools or the increasingly popular Lake Bryan. While it's a perfect plan to beat the heat, the Bryan Police Department wants to make sure that residents remember some key safety tips to keep all the members of the family safe in the water.
We want to stress to the families and the parents is to watch your kids. Watch them. Make sure you know where they're at when they're around water, because water safety is a big issue.
The PD has already responded to 2 emergency situations involving children and water.
One was back in April. We had a 10-month-old child that drowned in the bathtub. In that incident, Officer Brooks, Adam Brooks, was able to do CPR and bring the child back, and the child is healthy and with his parents now. The second incident happened in June of this year, and that was out here at Lake Bryan, where a child came up missing. It was questionable if she was on land, lost, or in the water, and it ended up she was in the water, and we found her deceased body the next day.
To keep these scenarios from happening to anyone else, James says to follow some basic rules around the lake.
When you're out at the lake, we ask that the kids wear a life jacket. They need to wear it either if they're on land or in the water. We want them to be safe in case they do fall in the water. The water drops off fast out here at the lake. It's not a flat surface, so you could be standing in a few inches of water, take a step, and it drops off drastically. Also, we ask that they wear some type of shoes, because if they're playing in some water that is shallow, they still could step on a rock or glass, something that could cut them, and then they're going to fall down and then be in the water. The parents need to know not to rely just on the flotation devices of the arm flotation devices or the noodles, any kind of toy like that floats, because if your child doesn't know how to swim, that's not going to keep them up. They need to have a life jacket on, and the parent needs to be within arm reach from them.
Oftentimes, parents think that their backyard swimming pool is much safer than the open body water of a lake. This can be the case, but only if safety precautions are taken at home as well.
When you're at the house or somebody that has a swimming pool, we ask that the homeowners have a fence up around the swimming pool, your backyard, to keep from kids that you don't know or in the neighborhoods playing from coming into your yard and getting to your swimming pool without you knowing it. We ask that there's always somebody there watching the kids. If you're having a large group of people, you need to have somebody that's in charge of it, and they know they're in charge of it.
Inside the home can be a dangerous place as well, especially for smaller children. The baby who was saved by Officer Adam Brooks had been left alone in the bathtub, which is a big no-no.
You need to stay in there with them. Don't walk away at any moment while a child's in the bathtub. A child can drown within an inch of water, so once that bathtub starts filling up with water, you need to be in there with them at all times.
All this safety talk about lakes and pools isn't meant to scare anyone. It's just important that parents exercise caution while enjoying the water. Another heat-related situation that can arise in these summer months is children being left in vehicles.
We're asking that parents, guardians, not leave any child in a vehicle at any time. If you're going into the grocery store just for a second, it could be 15 minutes. So, if they're sleeping, pick them up, bring them in there with you. Don't leave them out there, because you don't know what's going to happen. Something could happen. The child could be left in the car longer times. It's still not safe to leave the car running with your child in the car, because they could wake up, wonder where you are, and get behind the wheel of the car or something like that. So we're asking you to take the keys, lock it up, and take your kid with you.
It sounds like common sense, but it happens all the time across the country, because many parents don't realize just how hot it can get in a car parked outside.
Research has proven that a child's body doesn't cool as fast as an adult's. You stick them in the car, they're not going to be able to sweat off the heat as fast as an adult can. So the cars heat up quicker inside a car than outside. So if it's 100 degrees outside, it could be easily 115, 120 degrees inside a car.
So far, Bryan police haven't had any reported cases of children being left in cars, and they'd like to keep it that way. So if you see a child left in a parked car, call the police at 911 or the Bryan Police directly at 361-3888. Let's all do our part to keep kids safe this summer.
Alan, I'm glad to see that the city is taking the time to remind people about the water safety tips.
Yeah, a lot of those tips are common sense, but it's good to always hear them again.
The Adult Learning Center, located behind Jones Elementary in Bryan, is providing some valuable services for some members of our community.
Located behind Jones Elementary, the Bryan Adult Learning Center offers the opportunity for free adult education in our area. Parenting, ESL, and GED classes are offered through the Region 6 Education Service Center in partnership with Bryan ISD. One of the largest programs in the 15-county Region 6 ESC area, the Adult Learning Center offers group, individual, and computer-assisted instruction for all Brazos Valley adults over the age of 16 who are working towards a high school equivalency certificate. Bryan ISD's Even Start Family Literacy Program is also housed at the ALC. Even Start offers adult education, parenting classes, and a licensed child development center for children of parents attending Even Start.
Our GED classes run year-round. Our day classes run year-round. We are funded by state and federal funds, so our programs are free. We are nonprofit. We usually run about 20 students per class. That's our average. GED classes run Monday through Friday. Since we are an adult program, the adults really determine when they'll attend classes. We do encourage them to attend as often as possible, because if they attend, then they're going to get their GED much more quickly than someone who is not attending. That differs for our court-ordered kids, though. Our court-ordered kids who are mandated by the courts to attend, they do have an attendance policy.
Well, I would think with the KID program, I think that with you having a child on location with you, you're feeling comfortable, your child's here with you, you're getting your education. So that's kind of motivating to a lot of people around in this community, because if you have to go travel somewhere, then it's harder. Find child care too. But, it's easier to come get your education, either learn English or get your GED while you got child care provided for you. So I think that's a positive thing for all the people in this community. I mean, there's not very many places where you can just come and feel comfortable and free service provided to learn English, and people come here all the time just to want to get a better job, better place in life, just to learn English. So I think this is a good place for them.
We will serve literally thousands. We will be probably 1,500 students that will be processed through this center in a year. So over the course of the lifetime of this center, literally thousands of students have been served here. Our goal is for our students to make progress. The GED is icing on the cake for us, for our GED students, but our main goal is for them to show progress. And they can still have a high school diploma and come to our center if they just want to increase their skills in math or reading or writing. They can still attend our center. We'd like to see this program just continue on being as successful as it is. We're very successful. We get a lot of GEDs from this program. Our percentages are top-notch in the region. We have a really nice site here. I'm grateful that BISD allows the community to have a center like this.
Well, Sandy, that program goes to show that it's never too late to get some extra education or to finish up your degree.
That's right, and we encourage anyone who may need that extra assistance to call us.
The Twin City Mission Homeless Shelter has been part of downtown Bryan for many years, but recently they got a new and revamped shelter at a different location. Several Bryan officials, including Mayor Mark Conley, gathered to celebrate the opening of Twin City Mission's brand new homeless shelter in Bryan. The facility will replace their original shelter, built in downtown Bryan in 1963. That old shelter was small, dirty, and completely overmatched when it came to handling Bryan's homeless population. The new shelter has all sorts of amenities that aren't in the current location.
We have expanded facilities. We have a facilities that has ADA availability so that when people come with disabilities, we can properly serve them. The services here will allow us to expand on what we're currently doing in the downtown at a location because we have space.
The new facility also includes a computer lab, a library, and a kitchen, all places that will help clients acquire jobs and eventually homes of their own. Whedon says the new attractive location will also build self-esteem for the residents, something that wasn't happening at the old shelter.
Downtown, it's not a self-esteem builder because it's crowded, it's condensed. So we're really excited to be out here.
The prevailing theme at the ribbon-cutting ceremony was thank you, with Twin City Mission staff thanking the community for their role in completing the new shelter.
This project has been more than a blessing. It has been an honor and a privilege to be a part of, not only to see what this property was 2 years ago to what it is today, but it is what it is because of your support.
It has been this community of Bryan College Station, Brazos County, and the surrounding area giving us money to support what we do because they believe in us. So it's an effort. This belongs to the community. This is not ours. This is y'all's.
And Bryan Mayor Mark Conley made sure to keep the thank yous rolling as he praised Twin Cities' work in our community.
We hope this building will help you continue to meet the needs of our community, further your mission of providing meals, shelter, and a foundation for people who might otherwise be in a homeless situation. They do a great job, and we are proud to have had a part of it. Thank you.
For more information on what services Twin City Mission provides, log on to their website at twincitymission.org.
Well, Alan, that looks like a great facility, and it's been a long time coming for those people.
Yeah, the facility that they were in downtown Bryan was way outdated, and they're really excited about the new place.
We continue our summer series on the history of Bryan Public Education with a look at Stephen F. Austin High School.
From 1919 to 1939, Bryan High School was housed in a building located at the site of present-day Fannin Elementary. In 1929, Bryan High School received a name change when Bryan City Commissioner L.L. McGinnis announced that Bryan schools would have their names changed to honor heroes of Texas history. Bryan High School became Stephen F. Austin High School, while the two lower grade schools were named after James Bowie and William B. Travis. But the school names weren't the only things changing. The graduating class of 1920 contained just 35 students, but the growth was fast-paced as the city of Bryan grew, and soon there were too many students for the old SFA campus. So construction began on a new high school at 801 South Ennis, and in the fall of 1939, students entered a brand new building. That building is now Stephen F. Austin Middle School, but for more than 30 years it served as the main high school for Bryan ISD. We sat down with Buddy and Gene McGowan to hear a little of the history of Stephen F. Austin High School.
Well, I started teaching at Stephen F. Austin in 1948. I was high school band director. And at that time, when I came here, we had a very small band. In fact, there were only 27 members showed up at the first band rehearsal, which kind of shocked me because the little town I had come from, we had 100 in the band. So I had to start immediately building the band up. And then how many years later you came?
I came in 1950 as a bride. We married that June, and I started teaching in 51. And then I was out for 2 years and then started back in 54.
And you taught shorthand?
I started out as typing 1 and accounting. And then I was typing 1, typing 2, and shorthand. So those were my subjects. And I was at Stephen F. Austin until they built the new school, and we moved over to Bryan High in 1971. Of course, I was not here, but I think it was, SFA was built in 1938, and it was a well-constructed building. And we did not have air conditioning, of course, back then. I've forgotten what year the air conditioning was added, but I remember teaching in the rooms with the windows open, trying to get some fresh air.
Some of my band director friends would ask me, Buddy, are you going to stay in Bryan again next year? And I said, yeah, I kind of like it there. And they said, well, we move every 3 years to a new school so we can use our football shows over again. They were too lazy to come up with new shows, so they'd change schools every 3 or 4 years. But the main thing we remember about our school days at Stephen F. Austin were the great students we had. The students were just wonderful. And since they were in my band 3 or 4 years in a row, they became just like family.
And we knew our students and their backgrounds and their families. And then as we started growing, it was just, it was impossible to know them that well. And also, we used to have where you had to go visit in the home on Tuesday afternoons. They shortened the day, the teaching hours, and we went to visit our students' homes that afternoon.
Back in those days, a serious discipline problem was chewing gum. So that shows you how things have changed.
Yeah.
Well, Sandy, it's neat to get the perspective from those retired teachers on how things were there in the past.
It is, and we're so fortunate to have so many of the retired teachers in our community who can help us get a picture of what things were like back then.
During the first 6 weeks of summer, the Bryan Parks and Recreation Department has put on a summer camp program for area kids. Oftentimes, summer is eagerly anticipated by kids who can't wait for a break from school, and dreaded by parents who don't want to pay for expensive daycare services. Fortunately for many Bryan parents, the City of Bryan has a solution.
Our Summer Park program is a 6-week program. It began June 1st and went all the way through July the 10th. It runs Monday through Friday from 12 to 5 p.m. at 8 parks in Bryan. Those parks are Bonham, Haswell, Henderson, Sadie Thomas, Tanglewood, Tiffany, Villa West, and Williamson.
So the first issue is taken care of. The kids are being watched and they're having a great time. But how much did it cost?
This camp is absolutely free. It is funded by the Community Development Block Grant, and so that allows us to provide this wonderful program for kids at absolutely no charge.
Problem solved. The Summer Park program is exactly what its name leads you to believe. Its goal is to get kids outdoors and start enjoying the many parks that the City of Bryan has.
Our main goal with Summer Park program is to give the kids an opportunity to play outside, teach them it's okay to be outside. In today's society and the way things go, kids spend a lot of time indoors doing video games and whatnot. So we're out there playing organized games. We do crafts with them every day, and we also take them on field trips once a week and swimming once a week.
The Summer Park program wrapped up on July 10th with a day full of competition for the campers as well as for the camp counselors.
We always end Summer Park program with a big field day at the park. We do it at Sadie Thomas typically because it's a large park and it's perfect for this type of environment. And our camp counselors and the kids get to do all kinds of crazy things. We try to do a lot of competitions between the parks, and the kids love to watch their counselors do crazy stuff. So I think this time we had a watermelon eating contest of sorts. I think it was a dueling banjos type thing. We also had a pudding eating contest, searching for marshmallows or whatnot, and then the kids had the shaving cream fight, which they absolutely love.
Well, Alan, it's good to see the city continue to provide opportunities for children through the summer.
Yeah, it looks like the kids are having a great time out there, and I know the parents enjoy it as well. A fun place to send their kids during the summer. That's all we have for you on this episode of Bryan Living and Learning. To watch the show again, you can log on to bryantx.gov, youtube.com/City of Bryan.
You can also go to bryanisd.org, or you can use our newest communication tool, twitter.com/BryanISD or twitter.com/City of Bryan.
And now you can watch on the go by subscribing to our podcasts. They're downloadable right to your iPod.
For Bryan ISD, I'm Sandy Farris.
And I'm Alan Bruggman for the City of Bryan. Thanks for watching.